Blessings, Empress Vibrant here. Hey, Empress Vibrant here. So, welcome to the reading. I just wanted to make a quick note that I've done a new moon eclipse in Gemini breakdown before the reading. So I'm going to put a timestamp in the video. So if you wanted to go straight to the reading, you could do so without having to listen to the breakdown. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into it. Bye. Hey, Empress Vibrant here. Hope everybody is bliss. Happy new moon eclipse in Gemini. It's a very, very powerful time. Just want to say welcome. Hope everybody is doing well and enjoying their June thus far. Happy birthday to the Geminis. And also, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. So this full disclaimer, I am no astrologer. However, I've written down a little bit of notes just to kind of get the backdrop of this new moon and eclipse for June the 10th, which is today. As we know, new moons are about reflection. It's about us really looking at what we're doing, what we have done, what we want to do. It's about getting clear in our intentions. It's about deciding what we're going to do next. It's very much a time of introspection where we go within a little more and we look at what grounds us, what helps us to stay centered, what more things we could do to be kinder to ourselves. It's a time for self-care. This is a time for rest and rejuvenation. This is time for us to start setting those intentions and being more clear. With this solar eclipse in Gemini, we're dealing with the fact that things are going to be illuminated. Things are going to become a lot more amplified. So whatever it is that you're feeling already is going to become a little bit more bigger, and it's going to feel more important and more hard hitting, if that makes sense. So it's going to amplify it because what's happening in Gemini right now, we've got the sun, the moon, and Mercury. So we know with Mercury, this is the energy where it messes with our communication, our technology, and asks us to slow down and to really dig within the surface of what is actually happening. What is Mercury asking us to look at? What are we able to pull out within ourselves? There's confusion and shifts and changes, but we have to really look at the deeper elements of why these things are coming up, these circumstances, these events, and asking us, who are you becoming and what is being asked to be pulled out of you. And obviously, when it comes down to this communication, we know that Mercury, like I said, with that confusion within our interactions and our communication, is a time for you to slow down and really listen to what's being said and really hear what is being said and how we are communicating and how we are showing up. This could be via our texts, the communication that we're having verbally face to face. This could be over the internet. This could be over the phone, just so that we're not, going with a snap judgment of things, really looking at what's being said and what's being heard. So I keep looking at my notes. So it's just really asking us to just slow down, really look at what's going on. Yes, things are going to be amplified, and setting new intentions. We're going to have new information coming in that will change the way you view things, our perceptions of how we do things as well. Also, there is an element that there are, an element to do with the air sign itself, as Gemini is an air sign, and we're also moving into this age of Aquarius, which is also an air sign. So we're talking about our thoughts, and we are talking about that quick-witted energy, that smart, quick thinking, sharp shooting kind of witty kind of communication being amplified at this time. And also what I found to be really, really interesting, as well as in Gemini, we have the Sun, the Moon, and Mercury. We also have an influence of the aspect of Neptune, which I found to be really interesting because in Neptune is ruled by Venus. So it's sort of like, we know that Venus is the the element of love and relationships. So we're talking about feeling really emotional, and we know that it's moving into Cancer. So as that's moving into Cancer from the 2nd of June to the 26th, we know that that energy, that aspect is causing a bit of a shift in our perception and our reality, because we know that Cancer is about emotions and about nurturing. And we also know that Venus is about love. So we know that this element is going to be bringing us about this energy of compassion and love and openness and empathy. So you may feel more susceptible to somebody now that you probably haven't done previously, or you're more empathetic to somebody's plight. This would be a time for you to connect with other people moving forward, social events, a great time for dating, a great time for self-care and going out and, socializing and things of that nature. But also a time for going within that self-care regimen. What is it that you do that helps you to feel grounded, helps you to feel comfortable, helps you to feel centered within yourself? Because like we said, there's lots of things going on. You are being asked to look at how you feel, what you want to do. And in the mix of that, you've got the Mercury retrograde bringing in all of this opposing energy. So with that opposing energy, you could be misled that, because things are not working out in the way in which you want it to, it might just be like, oh, what's the point? When really, it's a time to really dig a little bit more deeper and slow down, and look at what it is that you're being drawn out, what is being drawn out of you, what is being cultivated, what is being asked of you at this time, instead of just seeing these circumstances that are jarring or being delayed that you want to get done. Instead of just seeing it as, well, what's the point? Allow it to become something that allows you to reflect and to observe, and that will help you moving forward. Just looking at my notes again. What else is there? So obviously it's a time to be very intentional about our communication. Like how the Mercury retrograde is all up in there. Be intentional about your communication. Like I said, don't just be too ready to retaliate or to jump on something. I put my hands up this week. I already was on, what did I hear? And I was instantly on wanting to find out the information. I wanted to make sure I gathered both sides. And even in just having the one communication that I had for the clarification, it allowed me to really look at, I don't need to pursue this. I don't need to put more energy into it. I just need to allow myself to look at the situation and what is being drawn out of me at this time. And it is for me to be grounded and okay in myself, and not to be so fussed about, how I'm being perceived by others or what people think, opposed to what I think and what I'm doing and what I represent, and not somebody's opinion of what that is of me. So it did allow me, at the first instant, it did cheese me off. I was very, very much ready to be combative. So even with that confusion and that energy, I was able to kind of sit back and kind of analyze and observe myself. So it's going to be a few of that kind of energy going on, to be very mindful about that as well. Obviously, when we're talking about communication, this could be over the internet, this could be over the phone, face to face. And also, like we said with Mercury retrograde, it's probably best not to sign stuff. But if you're gonna sign a contract or you're gonna be doing that, double and triple check what it is that you're doing, so you understand the rules of engagement. Also check for any errors, things like that in your emails, in your texts. Make sure that you're being very clear in your communication, so it's less likely for people to butt heads or to point out fault. Especially as Mercury retrograde is going on, everybody's feeling a little bit more emotional. But yeah, with that whole Neptune energy, like I was saying as well, that kind of deals with a lot of delusions, perceptions, confusion, dreams, psychic abilities, and things like that. So it's about allowing ourselves to feel everything, see everything, and observe it, but then still at the end of that decide, okay, so what's for me right now? What can I use this for? What, this energy of movement, or these dreams that I'm having, what are they saying to me? What can I use from this? Opposed from being pulled left, right, and center by your emotions, number one, the delusion and the perception of seeing things in one way. But also just allowing ourselves to just be and understand that that confusion, along with the Mercury retrograde, can make this time a little bit more challenging. However, like I said, with that Venus energy coming into that Cancer energy, which came in on the 2nd of June and ain't coming out until the 26th, we can benefit from some of that loving energy, benefit from that, that Venus relationships and love. And this is a time where we can get into the passion and, I'm saying, a little romance, a little love, a little TLC for ourselves and with a significant other, family and friends. It could be platonic, it doesn't have to be romantic in nature, but we're talking about love and relationships. So this time we'll be able to support that as well. So didn't expect that to be such a long breakdown, but I just wanted to kind of give a little overview of what is going on and what it's all about. So I just wanted to do I'm going to say a very quick spread. I'm going to do a spread. It will be what it's supposed to be. So I'm going from my sacred geometry today to get the theme of this new moon eclipse in Gemini. For the collective. Messages will not resonate with everybody, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. What is the overall theme? And what's the energy for the collective for this? And although we're doing it for the new moon, these messages are timeless. So if you do get it or watch this at a later date, just take the messages as they resonate, because it's not just going to be just for today. This is moving forward as well. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. What messages do you have? What is the theme? Lovely. Okay. Lovely. Okay. So 3 is our main theme. So it looks like we are going to be having an energy where we are thinking about or feeling, like I said, with that, I think it's probably to do with the social and emotional and sensual side, because we've got number 36, which is sensuality. And it says, the frequency of sensuality reminds us that as spirits in human bodies, we are sensual beings experiencing joy and pleasure from the physical world through our senses. So I say again, sensuality. The frequency of sensuality reminds us that as spirits in human bodies, we are sensual beings, experiencing joy and pleasure from the physical world through our senses. How beautiful that card is. Okay, so sensuality. Okay, so I feel like we are able to tap into that space within ourselves, you know, and when we're talking about using our senses and experiencing the world, you know, experiencing the world through joy and pleasures. This is talking about how we take care of ourselves. That's that self-care and grounding. There's much pleasure and much joy that you can get from just grounding and taking some time for yourself. There also is an element where we're talking about, when I said about the Venus energy entering into Cancer, which is going to be affecting this time as well throughout this new moon eclipse. You know, sensuality, passion, you know, romance, and being in touch with yourself, grounding and centering yourself and sharing your energy with others. It's about joy and pleasure, you know, and that could be in social elements, that could just be going out, collaborating, doing a project with somebody, you know. So let's go into the tarot and get a clarification on the sensuality. Okay. Yeah, see, now with our sensuality, all right, we're talking about how we experience the world around us through our senses, joy and pleasures, you know, and another way of doing that is like with this Seven of Pentacles is we are now reflecting again on the work that we have done, what we've previously put in, what's working, what didn't work, so that now we can set brand new intentions. So, okay, the work that I've put in on my healing, the work that I've put in on my stability, my finances, you know, decorating my home, taking care of myself, the stability, the, you know, the my material plane, the physical plane. So this is about looking and reflecting on what you've done already and looking at what it is that you want to do moving forward. And when we're dealing with sevens, we're talking about faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding. So we're talking about that whole understanding what's happened, what we can do to move things forward, you know, and that will help you set new intentions. So if you have been taking a break from the more interactions and sort of saying, well, I'm keeping away from people because of this Mercury retrograde, maybe it's a time where you start being a little bit more open to communicating with people, recognizing your strengths and what you have to offer, the joy and the pleasure that there is in communing with others. We have the Knight of Swords, you know, and the Knight of Swords is all about taking the leap, passionately moving towards what it is that you want to move. You can see this knight is fast moving, so we're talking about swift movements. So once you've decided what it is that you're going to do, you know, and swords particularly, we're talking about, you know, the mind, the thought, you know, what we want to do, truth, revelations, setting intentions, being very clear, cutting away at what doesn't need to be there, being very, you know, intentional. So again, once you've decided what works, what you're going to do continually moving forward, we use this energy that you're going to have a bounce in your step. There's going to be a passion and energy towards just getting stuff done. So while the Mercury retrograde is getting us to slow down, I think the slow down is within this, what's worked, what hasn't worked, what do I want to do? Do I want to continue with this, or do I want to look at another aspect, you know? And then once you've decided, once you've taken that time and grounded and centered yourself, then there's going to be an element of energy that's going to make you feel like, yes, I want to get stuff done. It's about to be happening. Okay, and then we've got the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands is about taking the steps towards action. So this is right, taking a step towards something possibly that you haven't done before. If it is something that you haven't done before, then it is the time to take the action towards it. Relax, take your time, there's no big rush. However, take the actions that move you closer towards it. So that is taking that time for introspection. This is journaling. This is being intentional around your healing, so that when you are ready to take the action, you've got the energy, and then you get the extra spark to be like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to look at something. I'm ready to step into a new way of doing things. And then we've got the Hermit, which is all about going within. Again, the energy of this time, introspection, going within and going with your own ideas, thoughts and opinions, and trusting in those, not being so open to taking everybody else's opinions or being so focused on what other people think, but rather going inward and really thinking, right, okay, so I know what's working, what's not. This is what still needs to be healed. This is what I need to do that's going to support me moving forward, and things of that nature. So take your time. And I'm loving the fact that sensuality is here, because we are talking about experiencing the world through our senses, you know, and what that truly means for us, you know, that joy and pleasure that we can derive from, you know, the experiences that we have with ourselves and with others. You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So there are definitely some things, excuse me, that we can use that's going to help us formulate our intention settings, our goals, and how we move forward. So the next card we had is number 23, which is honesty. Okay. Gorgeous card. Air kind of energy on this one. So the energy of honesty supports our choice to be courageously truthful and genuine with kindness and tact. So again, honesty. The energy of honesty supports our choice to be courageously truthful and genuine with kindness and tact. So there again, you are able in this time to really take that Mercury retrograde energy of slowing things down, being honest in your approach, being honest in how you feel, but having that tact and also being kind with the words that you're using. So again, it's another prompt around our communication, another prompt about how to be intentional about what it is that you're saying, and being intentional about what it is that you are trying to convey. Clear communication. Yes, be honest, be genuine, be who you are, but there is a way in which to say things that are going to hit home more better than to be sharp and cutting with your words. And that's why I said I kept this feeling that for some of you, there is an energy where you are dealing with that combative energy. And this is allowing you to say, right, well, you can be honest and genuine with how you feel. Didn't feel very nice. You know, maybe this is a relationship that you will decide to sever, or you would walk away from, or you're going to find another way of interacting, you know, by being honest and open and genuine, so that you are able to be courageously truthful, you know, with who you are and where you are now, opposed to allowing people to dictate to you, and then you don't use no kindness and tact because you are on a defense mode. So it looks like those things that have been causing issues, or the things that you have had in your mind, in your headspace, that has been causing conflict, you can remember to be kind to yourself and kind to others, and have tact in the way in which you deliver your information. So I feel like this is going to support you in how you interact with others throughout this phase. So I'm going to the tarot. Okay, straight away we've got, right, so there we've got 7 of Cups. So now we're talking about having the opportunity, many opportunities to try out new things, to deal and handle our emotions. The Cups is about emotions, and also about how in which we interact with others. This is our relationships. This is our platonic relationships, and this is the relationships we have with ourselves and our significant others. So, relating, so like I said, there is an energy around relating, but you have opportunities in which to show up, to play, to try out new things, to be open to different opportunities, to interact. So be open to that idea that there is an energy around, literally just, there is an energy around, how you're relating, your communication, your interactions. But they're realizing that there's many different avenues in which to have that, and possibly these scenarios are allowing you to experience an array of different emotions, an array of different ways of being, so that you can choose. Again, going back to the 7 of Pentacles, where we were talking about, what's worked, what hasn't, really looking at how you've shown up, the work that you've done, the healing that you've done, what is yet to be done, what is yet to be addressed. So then you can decide, okay, what works for me and what doesn't, and be thankful for that space, so that now you can continue moving forward. Then we have the 7 of Swords, that deceptive energy. So this could be, possibly some lies, some delusions, things being held back. Now this, like I said, we've got that Neptune energy that has come into this space as well. So there is an aspect where there is delusion, dreams, psychic abilities are all over the shop at the moment if you're not able to ground the emotions. So possibly communication that you have, maybe you might not even hear things in the right way, and you're seeing things in a perception, you're seeing things from a wounded standpoint, a place of hurt. Maybe somebody was far too honest, or the things that they said made you feel, attacked, and now you need to be honest and not use the element of delusion and deceitful actions or behaviors or thoughts to cloud your communication. And then similarly, for some of you, you are definitely moving away from someone and being very, very honest about how you feel that they show up. You don't feel safe around this person. They always feel like they're hiding something. They're not as transparent as you would like. There always seems to be something underhanded going on here. So you take the messages as they resonate. And then we have the 8 of Cups, which is walking away from a situation. So now we're talking about, okay, we're being honest with ourselves, and we're being honest with others. We're taking the opportunities that we've had to grow, and within healing, to look at the delusions that we have and look at the deceitful perceptions that we've had over time, and also looking at the deceitful elements that we see in others, and deciding to walk away from this, walk away from this same scenario where it goes round and round in circles. And now we're deciding, actually, I'm actually ready to change the way I do things. I'm actually ready to there's definitely an energy where you're ready to move away from this. That something better is in store. And this is why the new moon in Gemini with this eclipse energy is a beautiful time to decide what you need to deal with and what you don't. What you've decided that you've finished with now, and you're going to walk away from this because you've learned everything you need to from this particular scenario or this set of circumstances. Yeah. And you're walking away with the knowledge that there's so much more. And possibly looking at the fact that, wow, I've really spent a lot of time thinking about other people or being in my own head and being in my own way. And now this is going to help you draw a real conclusions around how you're going to move forward and how you're actually going to be so much more intentional about your affirmations and your goal setting for this new moon. So take your time. Lastly, we have the third chakra, okay? And it says here, the energy of this, number 3, the third chakra. So, the energy of the solar plexus chakra helps us to realize who we are and who we want to be so that we can set a course towards our goals. Now, that just ties right into this time, and I'm so thankful that it has. So let me read that again. Third chakra. The energy of the solar plexus chakra helps us to realize who we are and who we want to be so that we can set a course towards our goals. Okay? So again, who are you? Who are you wanting to be? And all of that supports you moving forward. And I love the fact that that's here because it's about setting you on a course towards your goals. Now, this whole energy around being honest about how you're showing up, how, the self-care, the self-love, and possibly the delusions and the emotions that we've been swept away in. Also, the fact that we have at some point been very much within our own selves and not really allowing for outside influences, although for some of us that has been very, very necessary. I love that. So I want to find out a little bit more why that's it. Oh, that's straight away. Okay. Tell me why the third chakra is here, please. Okay. So for some of you, this solar plexus energy about realizing who you are and who you wanting to be and setting yourself a course for your goals. For some of you, this has been around loss and heartbreak, regret, grief, a lot of sadness. So around this energy of grief, sadness and loss, regrets, looking at the cups that have fallen, the things that have spilt, the emotions, the feeling left out, and all of this energy that has at times stunted who you really are. Because if you're looking at yourself through the gaze of, lack mentality, what you've lost, what you don't have, what hasn't gone right, then at times we haven't really been allowing ourselves to look at who we want to be, opposed from being in a space. So this is going to allow us really to feel the emotions of this thing, but also allow us to set ourselves on a course of saying, okay, like I said, going back to that honesty, I feel some type of way. I'm still healing. I still need support. I'm still grieving. I'm still hurt. Being honest and being courageously genuine in that way will support you deciding, okay, so this is what I'm feeling right now, but this is who I want to become. I want to become somebody who is healed, somebody who is open to new love, someone who is open to being loving and being able to communicate clearly. I want to be somebody who is clear in their intentions. I want to be somebody who is, prosperous, instead of somebody who sees themselves from a lack standpoint. So I feel like that's the kind of energy that's coming up. And if that's who you're wanting to become, then you have to be honest and to be able to look at where you are now. And if that is in that Five of Cups energy where there is a lot of lack, grief, loss, and things of that nature, then take your time to look at that. Set yourself on a trajectory of healing, but definitely from a place of honesty. And then obviously start saying to yourself, who do I want to become? Who am I? Use that energy of sensuality to ground yourself, that energy of being loving and kind and having that joy, and pleasure with seeking counsel and being social and allowing others to impart wisdom, and stuff like that will support you getting out of that funk. This is not a rush, it's not a marathon. This is not a sprint, rather it's more like a marathon. You take it easy, you do things one at a time, but you're intentional about working on those shadow elements. And we've got the Two of Cups. So for me, this is partnerships. This is to do with affairs of the heart. So again, cups, relationships, emotions, and things of that nature. So like I said, this loss could be a loss of a relationship. This could be a loss of a friendship. And possibly now you're looking at who you are now without this relationship. Who am I now without my best friend? Or who am I now without my partner or my husband or my wife? Or who am I now without this, this business partner? How am I going to show up now, about this work or this title, or something to do with partnerships, something to do with collaborations and coming together, relationship based, emotional based. So maybe this is the energy around it. And now you can start saying, well, in my partnerships, I am becoming more independently thinking. I'm going to speak up more. I'm going to be more honest, and I'm going to be tactful in my communication so that I'm not stepping on so many toes. So I'm not putting people on the back foot and actually giving them incentive to walk away from me, and things of that nature. Or for you to just look at, I've walked away from these relationships now, and who am I now? I'm somebody who can collaborate well and open moving forward. So I feel like there is a lot here that is supportive of this change, of the introspection, and I think it's absolutely beautiful in general. So I now want to go into what is being activated with the love activation cards here. Just to give us another clue or another energy around what is being cultivated at this time, and going through all that we have just said with the tarot and everything, what is being pulled out of us, or what is going to be cultivated within this time. Thank you. Right, so we've got two, and they're both right. So what this time is going to allow you to do throughout this new moon and eclipse energy in Gemini is to release. Okay, to release. Okay, so it says you have the ability to give over unwanted energies to the loving force of the universe. Again, release. You have the ability to give over unwanted energies to the loving forces of the universe. So now you see this energy, okay, of release. So that is what we're working towards. This is what this new moon energy is supporting us doing, is releasing over unwanted energies, healing, letting go, and now coming to the trajectory where we are in that solar plexus energy of looking at who we are and who we are becoming. And that in itself is key for this time. And then we have elevation. You are making a conscious decision to raise your vibrations of love. Elevation, see, the upgrade. And that's what happens when you are intentional. when you've decided what you're going to do, once you've reflected and you've gone into yourself and you've taken some time to really decide, what is it that I really want? Okay, and then you elevate, you release, and then you make decisions. So elevation says you are making the conscious decision to raise your vibration of love. For that. Okay, so there is elevation here. So release and elevation. Okay. Right, so beautiful messages overall, actually. And I never like to finish my readings without at least getting some words of encouragement or words of affirmation from the A Gentle Hug for the Soul deck, which is lovely. I love this deck. Always like to close out my readings with this deck. And we have some words of affirmation. Ooh. Okay. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, so what we have here is an affirmation. Peace and calm are within me. Peace and calm are within me. Indeed. I ask for help when I need it. I ask for help when I need it. And you could use these as journal prompts or your affirmations that you can use towards this new moon energy. You know, use these things, these themes to really support you with your journaling and support you with, you know, your affirmations throughout the day. I look within for answers. I look within for answers. I respect myself. And lastly, we have, I love and support myself so I can love and support others. This is some of the realest talk right here. I love and support myself so I can love and support others. This is why healing and time for introspection is necessary. This is why I'm glad that we are still in this space where, although for some people this Mercury retrograde, obviously Mercury retrograde has played a number on a lot of things, you know what I mean? But it allows us to slow down and really look after ourselves, decide what we're doing. And with that self-care and grounding, you're able to really get some energy back so that you can support others. This is why a lot of people have become the hermit and have stayed to themselves, you know, and not been social. But you're going to be able to have a lot more energy once you've done that rest and rejuvenation, that self-care and grounding, getting out in nature, doing things that make you feel good. All of those things will support you. So I hope this message was beneficial. Much love to you. And you'll see me again. I'm probably going to do a pick a card reading later on. For those who are a part of the Heaven Safari with Rojo House, tonight at 7 p.m. we've got Laurence doing a divine feminine and the healing, the powers of the womb. So check onto that, and if you are not on it, go to at Mikel the Energy or at Rojo House on Instagram and click the link in the bio to become a member of the Heaven Safari. There are so many great tools and tips for self-development and self-healing. You know, we're studying the 11 laws of Ma'at as well, which is another helpful tool to work towards this new moon energy. Who are we becoming? So yes, please like, share, subscribe and comment, and much love to you all, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Blessings.